Hey, it's me again. Last time we talked about philosophy, the beliefs underneath our behavior, and I've been thinking about something deeper, something that has shaped my entire life without me realizing it for a long time. Chaos. That dirty 5 letter word. Not loud chaos, not dramatic chaos all the time, but emotional chaos, relational chaos, internal chaos. And here's the part that took me almost 60 years to understand. Chaos can feel normal, even comfortable, especially if you were raised with it or in it. I was born into contradiction. An indigenous baby, a French father, raised Catholic, later realizing I had an entirely different spiritual inheritance. That alone creates identity confusion. Bullied in my community because of all of those things, never feeling like I belonged, an outcast, abused at home, abused outside of the walls, called a savage on the outside and a Frenchman in my own community, but there was never any stability, you know? So all of this creates identity confusion. Who am I? What or where or who do I belong to? Where do I fit? But layered on top of that was violence. My father was abusive physically, emotionally, financially, psychologically, and the words he used. Words can bruise deeper than hands. I was told I should have been the son he never had, that the best part of me ran down my mother's leg, that my body was too wide, that no one would ever want me. When those messages are repeated in childhood, they don't feel like insults. They feel like your truth. And here's what happened next. Well, here's what happens next. When chaos is your childhood, stability feels foreign. Calm, well, that's just suspicious. Peace, so boring. You grow up thinking love must hurt, that attention has to be earned, that worth must be negotiated. So what do? You unconsciously look for what feels familiar, not what feels healthy. What does that even mean? Familiarity. And you don't even realize it. I left for Australia for a relationship. I left my children behind. I chased intensity. I chased validation. I chased being chosen. And when that ended, I found another version of the same pattern. Different faces, same emotional architecture. And if you zoom out far enough, you begin to see it clearly. I wasn't choosing a partner, I was choosing familiarity. Because chaos, well, that just felt like home. Comfortable, like an old pair of slippers. Now, here's where this ties back to philosophy. Jim Rohn says that philosophy determines your life, but most of us are living out of a philosophy we never consciously chose. Mine sounded just like this: I am not enough unless I'm proving something. I must earn love. Intensity equals passion. Drama equals connection. That belief system doesn't create peace, it creates cycles. And cycles are exhausting. There's another layer to chaos that's subtle. When you grow up in volatility, your nervous system adapts. You become hyper aware, hyper vigilant. You scan rooms. You anticipate tone shifts. You prepare for impact. Your body becomes wired for alertness. So, when life is calm, your body says something's wrong. Because calm doesn't match the internal wiring. And this is the part that shocked me the most. Sometimes, when things were going well, I would create disruptions, pick an argument, overanalyze a comment, make a dramatic decision. Why? Because calm felt unnatural and chaos felt like control. At least in chaos, I knew the terrain. In calm, I felt exposed. Huh. Just let that land for a minute. Now let's talk about becoming the cycle breaker. Because awareness, that's your first step. You cannot break a cycle you refuse to name. So, ask yourself, does peace feel uncomfortable? Do you equate intensity with love? Do you feel restless when things are stable? Do you sabotage calm? If the answer is yes, you're not broken. And you're not alone. You've been conditioned, and conditioning can be rewired, but only slowly, very, very slowly. First, you have to stop glamorizing the chaos. You stop romanticizing the passionate relationships that actually depleted you. That's a big one. You stop telling yourself, that's just how I am. That one sentence, that is very dangerous. That's just how I am keeps us locked in a childhood programming we knew nothing about. Sit in that for a second. So instead of that's just how I am, try this instead. I'm sorry I'm upsetting you, and I'm trying to learn different, but that's how I learned to survive. That's different. Survival strategies are brilliant in childhood, but destructive in adulthood. Second, you begin introducing small doses of calm, not dramatic life overhauls, just structure. Consistent wait times, one task completed daily, one boundary held. Structure feels boring to a chaos trained nervous system, but structure is safety, and safety allows clarity. Third, you upgrade the belief underneath the pattern. For me, it became love does not require chaos. Calm is not abandonment. Peace is not weakness. Those are philosophical upgrades, and philosophy shapes destiny. Now I want to speak to something else. Shame. Just take a breath for a minute with me. Sit tight, okay? It's uncomfortable, and I know. I know because I had to do this, and I still continue to do it. So let's continue. When we look back and see the patterns of relationships, of moves, weight gains, and decisions, shame tries to flood in, but shame keeps us stuck in chaos. Responsibility frees you. Responsibility says, I see it now. Wow, I didn't even realize what I was doing. Not, I am garbage. I should have known better. You don't know what you don't know. There's a difference. You can acknowledge patterns without condemning yourself. And here's something powerful. At almost 60, for me, I know I'm not too late to become the cycle breaker. Even if my children witnessed chaos, even though mistakes were made, and relationships were messy. The cycles stop when and where your awareness begins. And maybe for the first time in my life, and maybe in your life, you're not reacting. You're observing. That's maturity. That's strength. That's philosophy shifting in real time. So if chaos felt like home to you, start asking, what does peace actually look like? What would calm feel like if I didn't label it as boring? What would consistency build in 5 years? Because chaos burns bright, but peace burns slowly. And slowly is sustainable. I don't want intensity anymore. I want alignment. I don't want drama. I want depth. I don't want to swim forever. I want the beach. And maybe you do too. So this week, here's our reflection. Where in your life are you recreating familiarity instead of choosing gentleness, softness, and health? And what would one calm choice look like for you? Just one. For me, it's a calm choice to sit here and record this podcast. We can't fix a lifetime of chaos in one day, week, or season. That's still the programming telling us to hurry up and get it done. We build stability brick by brick, decision by decision, one calm and kind decision after another. And if you, like me, grew up in volatility, building stability is revolutionary. I'm not erasing my story, I'm understanding it. And in understanding it, I get to write the next chapter differently. Next time, we'll talk about attitude. Because once you understand your philosophy and once you recognize your chaos, attitude becomes the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Take a breath, rest for a second. Until the next one, I would like for you, to choose one calm action and sit in it, even if it feels unfamiliar. That unfamiliar, that just, that just might be your peace. I hope this place to pause has helped you in some way. I'm sending you only love, light, and very, very good energy. Take good care until next time. Shirley.